I'm sure you've heard the line, spare the rod, spoil the child, used to defend corporal punishment, but I'd like to challenge that idea. Some of you are already parents, and some of you may become parents in the future. Many of you are probably already active in the lives of children, whether you're babysitting or teaching or coaching. So this is something we should all consider. Is physical force justifiable means of discipline? I say it's not. So today let's talk about why disciplining children using physical force is a problem. What are some of the alternatives to using physical force? And lastly, what are the benefits of these alternatives? First, let's discuss what corporal punishment is. It encompasses all types of physical punishment, including spanking, slapping, pinching, pulling, twisting, and hitting with an object. In the U.S., corporal punishment is allowed at home, but not in the schools. And it's unlawful in 31 states. 81% of parents say that they think spanking is okay sometimes. However, physical punishment makes the behaviors worse, and it's associated with mental health issues later in life. Using physical force has a negative impact on children in their cognitive and physical development. It creates a toxic environment of fear and stress, and research shows that it actually changes the brain of the child. Science and research show that physical punishment makes kids more aggressive, and it doesn't actually work. It encourages the cycle of abuse. Stacy Drury, professor of psychiatry at Tulane University, says the goal of discipline, which actually comes from the Latin root meaning to teach, is to change behavior. And physical discipline across many studies is ineffective at changing behavior for many reasons. Corporal punishment actually teaches children that aggression is an acceptable method of problem solving, and that's a problem. Next, as a solution, let's look at alternatives to using physical force for discipline. In 2018, the American Academy of Pediatrics updated their policy to take a firm stance against corporal punishment. They recommended healthier forms of discipline, such as positive reinforcement of appropriate behaviors, limit setting, redirecting, and setting future expectations. One thing you can do is take away privileges, such as taking away electronics, which probably would be a lot worse for kids than a spanking, especially these days. You can also use logical consequences that teach life lessons, and set clear boundaries. Be clear about what the rules are and stay consistent with the consequences if these rules are broken. Finally, we'll examine the benefits of avoiding physical punishment. Using positive reinforcement can encourage good behavior. So my daughter is 2.5, and I'm in her bedroom today. But the other day, she started throwing temper tantrums for the first time. And as a new parent, I wasn't quite sure how to handle it. So she was supposed to put her socks and shoes on, but she decided that she didn't want to, so she threw a tantrum. And I got really upset with her too. I couldn't stay calm, and I actually felt terrible because I yelled at her. I said, "Stop it," like really angry. And it made me feel horrible. And of course, her tantrum got even worse, and she was kicking and thrashing and screaming. And we didn't get to go outside, which was the end goal. So the next day, we were going to put her socks and shoes on and go outside. And this time she started to throw a little bit of a tantrum, and so I stayed calm. And I just decided, okay, we're not going to go outside right now. So I redirected and let her watch a little bit of TV. And then after she calmed down, I was able to get her socks and shoes on, and we went outside. So it really made me feel better about my parenting, and it kept her tantrum a lot shorter. So we're learning together as we go. But I hope that story helps to show that when you get angry and upset or use physical force, then you're actually defeating the purpose. You're making it worse on yourself and your child. The author of Positive Discipline books, Jane Nelson, said, "Where did parents get this crazy idea that in order to make children behave, parents should make them feel shame, humiliation, or even pain? Children are more motivated to cooperate when they feel encouraged, loved, and connected." So now that we discussed the problem of disciplining children using physical force, the solution of alternatives to physical force, and the benefits of these alternatives, I hope that you'll keep what we learned in mind. Please, please be mindful of how you discipline your kids or the kids in your life. We're shaping the future generations, and it's so important to do this in peaceful ways because of the societies that we live in. So it's very important, and thank you for taking the time to consider this today.